Good morning. Welcome to a brand new day. Yes, it's a really good day to bring you the conversation here on TOSTV Network, your digital first Pan-African news network. And you already know that we're reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. My name is Adesu Osuyi, and as always, the conversation promises to be quite engaging. I have something that I know, a lot of Nigerians might want to have an input on. A lot of persons have been talking about it since the news broke, and that's what we're going to be looking at on the show this morning. But before then, allow me to bring you, stories and happening from across Africa, starting with this sad event, that happened in Burkina Faso. So an explosion at a makeshift gold mine in a village southwest Burkina Faso on Monday killed at least 60 people and injured dozens more, women and children included. The cause of the explosion in Pony province was not yet known. Pony's High Commissioner Antoine Douamba told the state television. Quite sad. There's been a lot of, mishap happening at gold mines across Africa, and I hope that is looked into. Away from that to Mali. So a plan approved by Mali's lawmakers on Monday now allows the military government to rule for up to 5 years. The plan was approved despite regional sanctions imposed on the country over delayed elections. So Mali is not, giving up, its transitional government. It's not transitioning into civilian rule anytime soon, going by that news. All right, that's it for development across Africa here on The Conversation. I'm going to quickly bring you COVID-19 update from across Africa. I always tell you, COVID is still out there. It's still ravaging. It's still doing its bit. So you have to do your bit to ensure you don't fall victim of COVID, right? So COVID-19 update from across Africa. And afterwards, we're going straight into the big story. You're still watching The Conversation on TOSTV Network. As I always tell you, you can be a part of the conversation. You have to be a part of the conversation, actually. So follow TOSTV Network across all social media platforms. It's TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. You can also stream our website on www.tostvnetwork.com. Now, straight into the crux of the conversation, and that is a big story. So something, a news broke, I think it was 2 days ago. The domestic airlines in Nigeria have increased their fares by about 100%. So the minimum for an economic ticket right now is 50,000 naira. It's supposed to take effect starting March 1st. We're going to website of various headlines. They have already increased the fares, and that's what we're going to be looking at this morning. Why domestic airlines actually increased the fare by 100%. So, join me in having this conversation via telephone is Felix Adetobo, a leadership expert and social commentator. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, Adesu. Good to be with you once again.
Yes, thank you for joining me. Now, straight into it. So you're aware of the news, of domestic airlines increasing their fares by 100%, and the minimum fare ticket is 50,000 naira. And, reasons have been given as to why that is. There's the forex, maintenance, landing fee, and all of that. But is it enough reason to actually, hike the fare by up to 100%, especially at a time, like this one?
All right, thank you. If these are enough reasons,
yeah.
I can tell you there are more than enough reasons for the spike to happen. Why do I say this? We don't want to be flying without assurance of safety. Yeah, and the cost of aviation fuel is what you should also think about. Before, it was between 190 to 210, but now it has gone so high to 410 to 430 naira per liter. So, how do you think these people will make their money? So we should think about all this, and not even about aviation alone. We can see what's even happening on land.
Yeah.
Transportation from one place to the other, we know now how things have gone so high. So we can't really blame them. It's more than enough reasons, and the issue of dollars, just as you mentioned,
yeah,
Dollar sells between 580 to 600 naira. And don't forget that they also have to put these airplanes in shape before they can fly. And they need to buy the spare parts, for maintenance and the rest. And they can only get this through dollars. So, and if the dollar is a shortage or it's not in the market, so how would they get funds, to purchase all this? So we have a lot of problem in our hands, and I think the government has to look into this and make sure that things get better.
Okay, Nigerians have always said there's a whole lot that's actually going in the aviation industry that we are not fully aware of. And then going by this news, I've heard people say these airlines, despite paying that much, we still delay your flight, postpone it, and all of that. So it's like whether you pay that much or not, there's still going to be an issue of maintenance and all of that. Do you think that they actually have, the interest of Nigerians at heart, or they're just protecting their own interest?
No, they have the interest of Nigerians at heart. See, there is no one who is running a business that wants to run at loss. Don't forget, these people too, they pay their taxes. And their taxes, I'm sure it doesn't come any cheap. So if they have to pay all these things, pay their taxes, and at the end of the day, they are unable to make anything for themselves. Just think about it. We've seen many times that one will be at the airport, you'll be waiting for, they've already booked you for maybe 2 p.m.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, they will keep telling you that you should wait till they'll keep postponing. And if you look at it, the reason why they are doing it is that the aircraft they've already planned to take the people, it's not in shape. So they'll be waiting for the one that has gone to drop in some other places, then that will come back, or they'll be waiting for the one that will just land and pick from the airport you are, just picking like a Uber. And that is the situation we find ourselves. So we can't really blame them. The situation of the country is biting and it's biting on everybody. Let's be sincere. It's biting on everyone. So if there is no availability of forex, this may even cause compromise standards. Because operations of any airline is capital intensive. This is the fact. I get my point.
Yes,
so if we don't have forex, do we now want them to be flying something that they are not sure of? No, they have to put everything in order. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
So then the fuel issue, we can't just wish it away. This is the reality that has, that is slapping us in the face. We have to look into it. The government has to look into it. We can't be selling a liter for 410 naira for aviation fuel for 410 or 430 naira, and you think that people will be happy with it. So I think this is the reason, why they are put this off. And I think everything falls in the hands of the government. If the government is doing the right thing at the right time, they will be able to checkmate the excesses of these people. But they cannot check any excesses now. Why? Because they are also guilty of what we are discussing because they've not done that. If they've done their part, they will have the moral right to be able to challenge them and even sue them, on behalf of the people. But because the government has not done the needful, so what do you want them to say? So everything falls on the government, either good or bad.
Okay. It's good that you actually mentioned, the situation of the country at this point, because I know that in the last 1 year or 2 years, basically, a lot of persons have ditched, road transportation for travel, to actually, because of the security situation in the country, it feels like it's not safe to go by road or by rail. So the safest, relatively safest, even though it's the most expensive, is, traveling by air. But having to now, the spike in the cost of tickets, how is it going to tell, on the situation right now? Because you said a lot of persons are going to be affected, like ordinary Nigerians are going to actually be affected. But I don't know how many people can actually pay 50,000 naira for a one-way ticket. How do you think that is going to impact, both the security situation in the country and, all of that?
Yes, it will surely have that effect. And that's why we are saying that the government should step in. They can only step in by making sure that they have good economic policy. Their bad economic policy are affecting everybody, especially, the ordinary Nigerian. And these high-class people, they don't even, most of them don't fly the common flight.
Yeah.
You know, they have their private jet. You know, they book private jets. You know, to where they want to go to. So probably they don't care about what even happened to us. But the fact is this: now, yesterday I read that airpiece. You know, I think their to and fro is like 120,000 naira. You know, it's too massive. How much is an ordinary Nigerian collecting as a salary? In an average Nigerian, collecting as a salary that you'll be paying such a humongous amount of money. But we cannot blame these people because the situation of the country too is worrisome. So they are also being affected. So everybody is in business to make money. And Nigeria, when we are saying that Nigeria is not too good, you know, for business, it will look as if we are going against the government. But the reality is there. You know, the issue of life. Let's even leave this issue of fuel. What about life? In Nigeria, just think about someone who has a private organization. Think of how that person is maintaining that organization with the high cost of fuel. Just think about it. And if any client should come and they charge so high, it will look as if the person is charging too much. But we consider what it takes to run that organization. The ease of running business in Nigeria is not there. They are just saying it. They are just saying it, you know, on paper. It's not there in reality. And that's why we have to also feel for them. I believe that when this is done, you know, when government does the needful, then everything will go well with us.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me on the show this morning. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for staying with me up until this time on The Conversation. Do not forget that you have to join me again tomorrow, same time, same channel. But before then, follow TOSTV Network across all social media platforms. It's TOSTV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's TOSTV Network. And of course, you can stream our website for news from across the world. It's www.tostvnetwork.com. Thank you again. My name is Adesila Osuye, and I'll see you tomorrow.